So, welcome back. You'll know from the last video that I did say that I picked up two new replicas. If anyone can guess what it is beforehand, obviously you're going to know it's SIG related. If you paid attention in the last video, I wanted one of these. I wanted to give it a go for a while. This will be my entry into a new M4 platform. Not an M4 platform, but an M4 brand, shall we say. I've had good results from their other gas blowbacks, so I wanted to pick one of these up, and I had been looking at it on the likes of JK Army and WGC. Those are the two shops I tend to shop from now overseas, and there is a distributor in the UK that had them in stock as well. And it just so happens I was going to show a friend those Parabellum P320s because I said I was going to pick one of these up. Do you fancy it? Couldn't find it on the website, and I was like, that's weird. Searched for other SIG products, and this had disappeared as well as all the other SIG gas blowback non-official stuff. It had all been blanket took off the site, so I went onto another website and it was disappeared off there. So I imagine SIG has got involved with these Hong Kong shops, maybe directly, maybe indirectly, and they've had to pull all this stuff off the shelves. So I panicked because I wanted to pick one up anyway, head over to the UK distributor that had them in stock, and I thought, well, that's going to be the next place that has to take them off the shelves. So I picked one up straight away. It cost me more, but it's one of them things. And this will be my first entry into gas blowbacks from this brand of this type. But this is none other than the APFG MCX Rattler. Now, I'd been on the fence about buying this for a long time. It's like, oh, it's a new platform, it's a new mags. You know, you guys know I love my MWSs. I had a couple of goes with older generation VFC blowbacks like the HK 416s and such, and they were just a bit meh. Like in the cold weather, they really didn't function that well. But going through the good experience I've had with my MPX and the APC 9 and the MP5K, I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. So let's get this thing out the box and see what this monster's like. So you get a speed loader in there, you get an Allen key, which I presume is to adjust the hop. I imagine it's a gas block style hop adjustment like others, and you get a QD sling point as well as a manual. There was no manual really that came with the M17, that was non-existent. There was a little placard in the box, but it didn't really give you any information, so that is the box, very nondescript. We have the MCX Rattler. Oh, look at that. It's very, very heavy. Heavier than I thought it would be. We have the SIG suppressor, which has the barrel extension. That'll probably be the first thing that I remove, because I don't want to increase the power over field limits. So we'll look at that at a later time. Very nice looking suppressor. It's like a greyish, really subtle grey colour. Some of the websites make it look bronze. And we've got a mag. Now, I'm not sure what version of mag this is. I think I said in some of my previous videos they've got different versions. There was version 2 and version 3. I imagine from what I heard someone say, this is perhaps a version 3 because it's got the red parts on the back. Now, I don't know how true that is, but we'll put some gas in it so we're ready to give it a bit of a test fire in a moment. It's taking loads and loads of propane, which is good. So I'm new to VFC M4s in terms of owning them. Obviously, when I owned Bespoke, we had the HK 416s and other bits and pieces in. I had a bit of a play around with it. I was always team MWS. And when we did have customers come in and buy them, I was like, look, because at the time we had MWSs in stock. This is the VFC gas blowback. Looks very nice, looks very more realistic compared to MWS in my opinion in terms of functionality and how they look. However, I used to say to customers, I can guarantee that the MWS is going to perform better. And I did have customers that went and bought the VFC and then came back in and was like, oh, what a mistake that was, and they'd sold it on and they bought an MTR 16 or something from us. So it comes with a side folding stock. I like the MCX sliding stock, but I'm not going to mess with it on this replica Got a mag. I presume these are like 30 rounds. So that goes in there. We've got Rattler there. It's got no, being an unlicensed product, it's got no markings on it from SIG whatsoever. And then the suppressor, which rotates on, and then it's actually got a latch. So like that, you'll hear it, and that means you can't back the suppressor off. You can turn it, which is slightly annoying, but it won't come loose. And it's also annoying that the SIG's on the bottom. But there we go. What I do like about this is how real the bolt looks compared to like an MWS. It's got that like nice steel sort of matte finish where the MWS is. You know, they just look a bit more toyish to me. If you look at that compared to that, I mean, come on, that looks a hell of a lot more realistic, doesn't it? And I will admit that after handling this gun, even though the Rattler does come with a suppressor like this, I do prefer it without the suppressor on. I did handle it just out the box, as I always do, just to make sure nothing's broken or nothing's missing. But I do prefer this gun without the suppressor on. It's just nice and, you know, really short profile. I do like that. In fact, we've got a bit of gas in the mag. Let's give it a test, shall we? So let's flip this over. We've got it on semi-auto. Nice and snappy, full auto. I actually let go of the release I was holding down there, so I'm not sure if it's just not got enough gas in. Had that actually like knocked itself off? Well, put it back in, give it a go. There we go. So it's not as punchy as a you know, an MWS. The MPX had a little bit more high cycle rate on it, and it was a little bit more snappier. Now you are dragging a bit more mass with the bolt on this one, because the bolt is of course going to be longer. Let's have a look at that. With the stock folded, now this is why I don't like this stock, because it's just, it gets stuck quite a lot. Maybe it'll loosen up over time, but look how small that is. You could have that slung across your chest and it's almost, you know, MP5 style size. Let's have a look at the MPX compared to it. So I do have the suppressor on the MPX, but it's a very similar size. So I'm really liking the SIG stuff at the moment. I did want to get there. They do a normal MCX variant of it as well. I did want to get that, but obviously that's not going to happen now because they've been purged from the internet. So the bolt's forward. One thing I will say about this one compared to it, it's rock solid. It is so rock solid. There's no flex in it whatsoever, which is a couple of issues I've had with their gas blowbacks, but not where it breaks the gun for you. But let's have a look what's going on in here. So we can lever that forward, pull this out. We don't have a buffer in here like the MPX. Doesn't look like we've got some kind of like plastic buffer in here though. And here we have the bolts. Same style design. You got like NATO 762. I imagine 762 is referencing blackout. I know 300 blackouts, that same sort of size, isn't it? Nice strong springs on that. Nice strong spring on that. Now you do look at these nozzles and they just don't look as nicely moulded as say like an MWS one. I'm getting covered in grease here. This might need a bit of a degrease, but see that there? See how nice and rounded and thick the nozzle looks. I mean, this is a GM bolt. Compared to this, it just looks, in comparison, I'm only sort of comparing it to an MWS because they're really the only other gas blowback rifles that I use, but just a bit more flimsy, but you know, we'll give it its fair chance. at the end of the day, if I don't get on with it, I imagine these are going to be harder to come by now the internet purge is going on. But let's put the bolt back in. It's dead simple. They do have a hefty hammer on these, and I found it with the MCX as well. Let's put the bolt in, the upper on even, and I think you'll hear it. So it's got a really loud hammer, like it's really smacking with a bit of force. One thing I will say about the bolt or the dust cover, it's got a sticker on there, let's remove that, is this is really, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, really loose. So that's the only thing that rattles on the gun. And you can't shut the thing, so the dust cover will not close. There we go. Probably because that's so loose. Functionality seems to work okay. Are we going to have that same feature where if we push the pin out halfway, so if we partially push the pin out, it should clear the handguard lug, and that should be able to push off. There we go. Oh, very, very tight. I like this handguard, much better than what came on the MCX. It's nice and smooth and rounded, very comfortable to hold, to the point where, you know, I don't really think you need a grip on it, but I imagine the hop adjuster is done through this, because that's where it was on the MCX, and it does feel like it stops. And it would make sense because they give you that Allen key. I mean, this might be a dummy, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. That's not the correct size. Let's use the one that came in the box, because they do give you an Allen key, and it wouldn't make any other sense for it to be for any other part. I imagine this is a 5mm. To put this in the gun and then use it to turn the hop on. Yeah, can you see that moving? See this piece moving here? I'm not sure if it's like that on the real one. They might do that to adjust the gas pressure when running suppressors. You gun nuts out there will be able to tell me down in the comments below. I know you will. Let's put the handguard back on. I think the handguard's clipping the receiver. Push that back in. Let's face it, you're never really going to have to pull that apart. Very cool. I mean, do you guys like it with the suppressor on? I don't know, it kind of makes a small gun really long. You know, perhaps when you're using it out in the field it's not so bad, but I just think to have something so dinky and versatile, I honestly think this is how I'm going to run it. Like an SBR, which it is. Very, very cool. Not as nice to use on the full auto. Let's compare it to the MCX. And this is my main worry about VFC M4 platforms. It's just whenever I've used them in the past, they're just not very efficient at all. Where the MCX, you guys know, I love this MCX. The MCX also comes with an ambi bolt release where you don't get that on the Rattler. It's so much louder. If you're tuning in and you're stuck with what to buy, and you're looking at both the Rattler, if you can get your hands on one, and you're looking at the MPX, I'm going to tell you right now, off the first impressions that I've had with both guns, this is the better gun. Efficiency wise, how rapid it is, how responsive it is. This one isn't filling me with much confidence, but as a, you know, a collector's piece, I mean, just look at it. Look, that absolutely looks fantastic. If I could so easily get a kit like this for an MWS and it not cost, you know, both kidneys, it really would be something that I would look into. But I mean, the MCX is definitely a lot heavier than this, but this thing is just so cool. If you have the chance to buy one of these, because these have also disappeared from the Hong Kong websites, if you have a chance to buy one of these, honestly, pick one up straight away. But what do you think about the MCX Rattler? Is it cool? Is it a gimmick? It's definitely expensive. We could do a quick chrono on it and see what it's coming out with. We've got some 0.3s. Let's just see what it's pushing out. Now, all the other VFC gas replicas that I've had to date have been restricted on the nozzle. I didn't check this one, but I will quickly check it, which has meant they've been coming out between 0.5 joules and 0.3 joules. There's no restrictor on this bolt. So this is propane with a 0.3 gram BB. Let me clear a bit of space from the chrono. There's a lot going on in this room. And let's set this up. So 0.3 gram BBs. Loaded mag, in we go. And we're ready to go. So first shot is 0.06 joules. With the last shot giving me 0.027 joules. So I'm getting 40 to 60 FPS out of this thing. Is the hop fully on? I'm a little bit confused here. Let's twist the adjuster in the opposite direction. See if it gets any better. Do I have a speed loader? There we are. Let's pop some more rounds in. Another easy mag to fill. Let's give it another test with a bit of a hop adjustment, because it could have been fully on. We'll see. No, there's something going on here, because let's just get rid of that last round. The readout on a 0.3 is 0.04 joules, so 56 FPS. So could this be a fault? Does it have a valve in that we need to adjust? These are all very, very good questions. So I'm going to have a go play with this. Expect a follow-up video on this to see if it is a faulty one. If it's a faulty one, it's going to have to go back. If it's not a faulty one and it's just an adjustment, then I can let you know, guys, how I've done that. But for this one, we're going to wrap it up. And from me and Bench, we'll see you in the next one. And for those of you that stuck around, you won't have to wait for me to release another video. I found exactly what it is. So these actually have like an adjustable valve in the nozzles. And all you do is you take a 1.5mm Allen key. Counterclockwise will increase it. Clockwise will turn it down. So all it is a couple of turns out. and now I'm getting on a 0.3, 290.6 FPS, so it's 1.17 joules, so I could adjust that a little bit down if I needed. Now that is actually something that's really useful, fitted out of the box, you know, you haven't got to mess around with it, just put an Allen key in there, and jobs are good. And so kudos to VFC for that. Let's just dump the mag real quick, see if it'll feed. And as far as gas efficiency, it couldn't even finish half a magazine. So we shall persevere. So thanks for staying till the end. See you in the next one.
2 hours later.
So I've been playing around a bit with this Rattler, and yeah, it just doesn't correlate with the rest of their products they're releasing. It's more of the same of what I've experienced years ago with VFC AR style gas blowbacks. This thing is just, it just cools down straight away. Just turn that down a little bit more. So you'll see that this is all frosted up. I fired less than 6 rounds through the chrono before it started just spitting everywhere. And although it started off okay, so far I'm honestly not impressed. How they can make something so good as the SMG line that they do. This is a fully gassed mag on propane. It's at room temperature, and I'll show you here. So we've got it on semi only. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots is all you're saying now. If I flick it to full auto, yeah, so far this thing is absolute rubbish. I would not recommend picking one up. Whether this has got something to do with why they've been removed, I don't know. As far as I'm aware, this is their latest system. These are their latest magazines. I was really looking forward to having a real good time with the MCX Rattler. If it would have performed as the MPX did, I would be over the moon, and I would be looking at setting this up to run it and ordering some more mags, but it can't lock back, doesn't have enough juice, even though this is a fully gassed magazine. Yeah, this is probably got to be one of the first gas blowback reviews where I've come across and said avoid this platform at all costs. It really isn't worth the headache. I don't think they're there with their gas blowback M4s. Their SMGs, the MPX, the MP5, the APC9 work absolutely phenomenally. Whatever's going on with this platform, I really don't know. VFC, if you want to reach out and come up with some ideas, great. Otherwise, I'm really not impressed with this platform, and it's a very difficult video for me to make. I've tried all kinds of different things. I've tried different gases. It works best on the propane that I've got, but even with the propane, it sort of fumbles up and stuff. And I can't get a full mag of BBs out of it, which any gun can do. I mean, Christ, if I pick up a Mark 18, Maru Mark 18, it's been sat there for weeks now. Has this mag got any gas in it? I really don't know. Probably not. No gas in the mag, and yeah, it fumbled towards the end there, but if I gas that mag up properly, it will run like a dream. And I just don't understand why companies can't do it. Maru can do it. Why can't anyone else? If Double Eagle can do it, they just copied the Maru platform though, you know. VFC, it's just more of the same, I think. I don't know whether it's the router design, I don't know if it's the nozzles aren't efficient. There's just it's experiencing a massive amounts of cooldown with hardly any rounds through it. I think this is going to be one of the first guns in a very long time that I'm considering sending back, because it just doesn't work. So yeah, let me know, you guys, what you think down in the comments below. Have you owned one of these MCXs, or a VFC 416 or a VFC M4? Let me know down in the comments below your experience with this platform. If you have any ideas as well as to what can improve these. At the start, I was really liking the fact that they put an adjustable valve in there from the factory. They've got loads of different, they've got PMags available that you can buy, which I was looking to purchase. Luckily, I haven't done it already. So yeah, I don't know. I'm at a loss with this platform. We'll see you in the next one.